What is happening, everybody? And welcome to a new episode here of Sports Bets, but mostly chaos. If you don't know already, well, my name is Craig.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Benny.
I'm Jason.
And we want to thank you so much for tuning in to another episode here. We have plenty to get to with all major sports to get into. We also have that Cohooney 5 again. Solve a recap. Get off my lawn. It is back again this week. Our usual hitter to quit it segment before we head on out of here. So we'll just go ahead and jump right into things. We're going to start things off in the NBA. Jason, John, you guys can update us on what's going on with the red hot Golden State Warriors, as well as anything else going on in the NBA you want us to fill us in on. So boys, take it away, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Warriors are 6-1, riding hot. I've called it before the season started. I thought this team was really deep, and they're doing it without Clay and Wiseman. Playing pretty well, moving the ball. Their bench reminds me of the 2014-2015 team. Just every night somebody different shows up. Last night it was GP2. Did a dunk on Kelly Oubre. Welcome back to Chase. And yeah, I mean, early on before the season started, they were like, "Oh, Avery Bradley or GP2," and I was on the GP2 camp, I think, just because of his youth. And he's a defensive specialist, and great to have him. And he's a dog, and I like it. And and this is all without Curry really doing anything in the fourth quarter, like last 4 or 5 games. One of them he really didn't even play, but he hasn't been himself. He's turnover prone now. Not now, but he's been a little turnover happy. But Charlotte in last night was supposed to be a close game, and it was for a little while, and then they gained some separation. Now you got the Pelicans coming into town tomorrow night, and then the Rockets on Sunday, which I will be going to actually. So,
Ooh.
yeah! And taking my son Nate to his first basketball game, and looking forward to it. So, yeah, they're on a roll. They got a very favorable home stretch of games here that they should take advantage of, and just keep on, staying healthy and waiting for Clay's eventual return. Wiseman should probably be back sometime between 2 to 4 weeks, I think. They're going to send him down to G League, get him some conditioning, which is a good thing. And I think Steve Kerr is going to simplify things for Wiseman this year. Last year, I think they threw the sink at him, and he just seemed overwhelmed. I think this year they're very just going to, go out there, play 20, 25 minutes, and run some pick and rolls with Steph, get close to the basket, keep it simple, and hopefully they'll pay huge dividends. But same thing, just good start. Now you just got to keep on winning some more home games, winnable games, and go from there. Very 2 winnable games. You got the Pelicans and Houston next, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're 8-1 after those 2.
You can do it.
Yeah, they unfortunately did lose last week after we were done with the podcast. They lost to Memphis in overtime to get the first loss, but over the weekend they beat OKC, and then yesterday they beat Charlotte. 2, like Jason said, easy winnable games. They got a really simple home stretch going on right now, and they need to take advantage of it. It's a long season. Get these wins early while you can, and then by December, late December, early January, they'll have Clay back, and they'll be in full force. Get ready for April when the playoffs start. They'll be there. It's just really crazy. It's really crazy. You're looking at this team, and you're like, coming into the season, you're optimistic. Like, what can they do? How is everything going to fit? What are they going to do without Clay? Is Poole really going to take that step up? Poole hasn't been really consistent, but he showed yesterday against Charlotte when he's on fire, like putting up 33 yesterday. Curry was basically unneeded. I mean, Curry still had 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. And the crazy part is, you ask someone like Westbrook a couple years back, hey, you want that stat line? He'll take it. And you know what? He probably would have played a few extra minutes to make sure he got that triple-double. Curry, that stat line is shit for him. Like, Only 15 points? I should be averaging 30 points a game, like, without Clay. So, their standards are so high this year. And a lot of the people, I don't know if they're sleeping on the Warriors still, because I'm hearing all this news about the Lakers once they get healthy, or Utah. Utah, there's this really good defensive team. So Utah's always a good defensive team. They're always up at the top. What happens when they get the playoffs? They almost lost to Memphis last year.
Mhm.
You know, and I do think that the rule change about the like the Harden rule and the Trae Young rule, I think it's leading to teams being allowed to be more aggressive, leading to like Iguodala, Gary Payton, Draymond, Wiggins being fantastic on the defensive end. I I believe the Warriors so far through the season are in top 5 in defense rating as
Number
a
one.
team.
They're number one.
Number 1, okay. I wasn't sure. I was seeing stuff about the Nuggets and the Heat were better, and Utah were better. I wasn't 100% sure. But yeah, everyone talks about the offense, but this new rule it's allowing Draymond and all of them to be way more physical. And you know, you look
That's
at
what
the
she
two,
said.
you look at the teams that are really succeeding to start the season. You got the Heat in the East. You got who have Bam, Lowry, and
Mhm.
Jimmy buckets. All three of those are physical defenders. Now they don't have to worry about the touchy tack bullshit. Yeah, that's another team in the East to watch out for. Yeah, the Warriors. I mean, you know, yeah, you could argue championships. I'm not saying championship or bust, but you could argue Western Conference Finals or bust the way this team is built. And you know, you only got a couple more years left of Curry in this range where he's at. So yeah, conference finals. I feel like that has to be the bare minimum for how they're playing right now.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And I said before the season started, I thought the Warriors would do it if they stay healthy. I mean, but again, long season. It's a week by week, game by game
Oh
deal.
yeah, definitely.
You know, I like Chicago in the East as a like a sleeper underdog team. I like what they did.
Chicago just lost. They just lost their best defensive player for the rest of the year, Patrick Williams. So that does a little hurt a bit.
They got enough firepower.
Yeah, they have enough offense, but I
Ouch,
don't know where they get
baby.
the defense. That's it.
Yeah.
They got Lonzo, and then Lonzo is probably the best defensive player they have now left. Because Vucevic, DeRozan, and Levine, they're not defenders.
Yeah.
They needed Lonzo and Patrick Williams. But yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, good season so far. Next few games here.
Yeah. The only other news outside of the Warriors with the NBA is there are allegations coming out in Phoenix to keep an eye on. It's not looking good. 17 years worth of allegations against the owner of the Phoenix Suns. Just something to keep an eye on. This isn't good for a team that went to the NBA Finals last year. But yeah,
It wasn't really a secret, I think, in NBA circles either. It's just now the reports out on it, and now it's
which really sucks that like the NBA kind of just turns a blind eye to these kind of stuff because you know it's a rich owner.
Yep.
And then once it takes something like this for it to all come out. Yep, it's just something to keep an eye on. We're not going to get too much into it because it's too new. Like this just broke today, so yeah.
Can't do it.
All right. Well,
All
good
right, I
stuff,
really
boys.
can't.
I know. That's why I played it. All right, good stuff, boys. All right, we're gonna transition over to the ice now with our hockey insider Benny Soup over there. And Ben, I'm obviously planning to get to. There was a humongous trade that went down in the NHL today, and also the Sharks had tons of COVID issues over this past week. And also, I'm sure the Ducks, you got stuff to report to us on that one. So Ben, go ahead and take it away and fill us in what's going on there.
Yeah, sorry, I'm currently in the middle of watching 4 hockey games at the same time right now. So yes, so
You get that goddamn press pass yet?
I got ESPN Plus thanks to my buddy Daniel. So yeah, no, so I'm just going batshit crazy with that right now. But yeah, no, plenty to go off of here. It has been insane to say the least within the time that we were last on air. So there was more news about Jack Hughes in regards to that injury that he had received against the Kraken. He will miss at least 5 weeks with a dislocated shoulder. So that'll be fun. So needless to say, they're kind of pissed off to lose him for a while, but it could have been worse, but still that's pretty bad given their momentum they were going with. Ryan Getzlaf, though, the other night, he got an assist off of a Troy Terry goal to give him the all-time points lead for the Anaheim Ducks over Teemu Selanne with 989 goals. Or I'm sorry, points. Goals. Jesus, this guy barely gets 5 in a year. But no, he had a
One pathetic loser.
he had a very big celebration. Everyone jumped out onto the ice to congratulate him on that achievement. To do it in one sweater is a big deal beyond the fact to just be able to do it. So now he's only 11 away from 1,000 points. So excited to see how long that will take this season to accomplish that goal. And what was it? I'm totally blanking on his name, even though I'm looking at his face right now. Cole Caulfield. He ended up getting sent down to the Montreal Canadiens minor league club. He wasn't really producing. He had 1 assist in about 10 games, so they decided to send him down. Kind of a big shock given his amazing output last year that he did. But it's unfortunately just the way it goes. It's the NHL. If you don't produce, you got to get sent down, give an opportunity to someone who can. But when he did get sent down, somebody who was kind of a leader to him last year was Corey Perry. And so Corey Perry did reach out to him, see how he was doing about that. No real insight on what he had responded with, but I'm sure Corey Perry was very encouraging just to tell him it's just a temporary thing. Just get your confidence, get going again. And he's just going to be a very special player for that organization. So it'll be really cool to see where he ends up at the end of the season. If he's still down there, if he comes on back. You can do it. And then in regards to a signing that did happen, Adam Fox, that big name defenseman that all of us
None of
so
us
well
knew
know,
what he was.
that won the Defenseman of the Year award in the offseason, signed a 7-year, $66.5 million contract. He's going to be a New York Ranger for a little while longer. He's apparently deserving of it. So that's pretty awesome to see a young kid help the New York Rangers just kind of go in the right direction. So in regards to a follow-up of one of our podcasts earlier in the year, when Pekka Rinne had announced his retirement, he will actually get his number retired on February 24th of 2022. He'll be the first Nashville Predator to ever be retired in franchise history. So that'll be really cool. Good honor for that. I think he's an amazing goaltender. So, great career. Unfortunately, didn't ever win the cup, but was there for an appearance. So
not even close.
That'll be pretty cool to watch. And in reports to Vegas, William Karlsson, he unfortunately broke his foot, out 4 to 6 weeks while he recovers. Their list just keeps growing. They're struggling right now to stay healthy, and then I'm curious to see how many more guys will go down in the next couple weeks, because it seems like all their big name guys are just dropping like flies. And we'll start getting into COVID talks. Sidney Crosby finally made his return back to the league after sustaining his wrist injury that after surgery and all that. So he finally came back and played a couple games, and he got COVID along with Dumoulin. So both of them are out. And the Pittsburgh Penguins head coach as well, he got COVID as well. So he is in protocol. So that's fun. And then moving on from that of COVID, the Barracuda have pretty much called up practically their entire squad for the Sharks to allow them an opportunity for the show. They did actually get 2 solid victories and played very well. And I think it was actually kind of cool to see a lot of young guns kind of come in and show that, they're able to be pretty capable players and everyday players. They were hungry, and I think it actually kind of made the veteran players a little more jump in their step. You kind of saw Hurdle too as well, 2 unreal goals. I mean, he played some magical hockey last night or the night before. and it was last night, and so yeah, it was solid. It was good to see the youth going, and so actually I forgot to send this to you guys, but Phil Kessel his wife is expecting a child, so that's pretty awesome. Unfortunately, in the photo, you couldn't really tell if he was pregnant or she was pregnant, given his size, because given that Phil Kessel donut joke.
Daddy, chill.
So, but there was a small trade before we get to the big one. Johnny Boychuk got sent over to the Buffalo Sabres in return for future consideration. So could be for a bag of chips for all we know. But Buffalo's making moves because they also got rid of a big name of guy Jack Eichel. I don't know. He's I guess an okay player. So Jack Eichel, he is going to Las Vegas to play for the Golden Knights. And it only took a 2023 third. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Hold on one sec. I have a better one here.
Tuck.
Yeah, Tuck got traded. Oh my God, where's the screenshot of it? Tuck and where Peyton Krebs. I didn't even who the hell is
Who
that
the
guy?
fuck is that guy?
Yeah, seriously. Like that guy's ridiculous. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Peyton Krebs.
He has crabs?
Yeah, he has crabs.
Nice.
2022 first round and a 2023 second round. So curious to see if Jack Eichel will really even be much of a difference maker. I know that Vegas is making this move just because of their injuries, but overall, I don't think it's a good idea. Eichel's a big headache from what it seems like from the outside looking in regards to his time in Buffalo since 2015. He's just kind of one thing after another for him. And I'm not really sure if Vegas, the city of Vegas, is going to be a great fit for him. I think he's going to go batshit crazy, and I think he's going to have a great year. But I think his off-ice antics might get to him. So we'll wait and see what happens. But immediately when the the Buffalo Sabres got Peyton Krebs, they immediately signed him down to the AHL. He wasn't really doing much of anything, so they need him to develop a little bit better. So we'll see how long he stays down there. And then what was it? With Calgary, they were actually a team that was going to be possibly a fit for Eichel. Big name that was going to be moved.
How about
that was going to be Matthew Tkachuk. He was actually going to be one of the players in that trade. They obviously offered up a bunch of draft picks and a bunch of other shit, but to see them actually be willing to get rid of Tkachuk was kind of crazy. I really didn't see that one coming. I kind of thought he was going to be an untouchable player for them, but they felt that he was going to be worth it to move. And the Arizona Coyotes, because they're 0-9-1, they're currently not doing the best hockey. They picked up Scott Wedgwood from the New Jersey Devils off of waivers. Curious to see if he'll help slow down the bleeding a little bit over there, but I highly doubt it.
We suck again.
And then what's it called? The Anaheim Ducks, they did just beat the New Jersey Devils 4-0, which was actually a very surprising victory. I did not think they were going to pull that one out with how rocky they've been, but they managed to take advantage, and they got Gibson his first shutout of the season. So that is currently 2 wins in a row. They play against Arizona tomorrow, which unfortunately, with them picking up Wedgwood and just the fact that Arizona hasn't won a game yet, I think there's a good chance the Ducks will lose that game. So that'll be fucking great. And then the San Jose Sharks, or I'm sorry, not the San. I'll let you guys. I'll let you guys do the Sharks. The Vegas Golden Knights, though, they did beat Ottawa tonight 5-1. So
No one cares.
Yep, they have been kind of up and down all season. They lost to Toronto 4-0, getting shut out. They had nothing really going for them at all. But before that, they did have a 3-game winning streak. So they were kind of getting a little momentum and then kind of are stumbling again. They play against Montreal and Detroit on Saturday and Sunday for back-to-backs on the road. So that'll be cool to see how they can do that little bit of to finish up their road trip and see if they can just kind of finish strong while they go home and then have to host Seattle. So the Ducks and the Knights currently are doing not really that great. But currently the San Jose Sharks are in third in the division, while the Ducks are in the first wild card spot, but the Vegas Golden Knights are right behind them, 1 point out of a wild card position. So it will be very interesting to see where these teams finish, because everyone's from the Pacific seemed like they were all kind of stumbling. So it's going to be kind of a sloppy finish for the year. And then something on a side note in regards to a good career, Marian Gaborik. I'm never gonna forget Marian Gaborik since that Jockberty question.
Yeah, I'm surprised you. Yeah, wow.
Speaking of Jockberty,
yeah.
What's going on there?
So Marian Gaborik he officially retired after 1,035 games in the league. He had 407 goals and 815 career points. He played for the Minnesota Wild, the New York Rangers, the Blue Jackets, the Kings, and the Ottawa Senators. But you would know that if you guys heard the Jockberty. So it's good for him. I mean, it was a great year or a great career. And so I'm happy for him that he's able to retire officially. And so we'll see from there where it takes it. And that's all I got in regards to hockey. If you guys wanted to touch base on the Sharks, I wanted to save that for you guys.
Yeah, I just think just to kind of add on a little bit of the Sharks. Obviously, the whole COVID situation, not great, especially because considering that this it's been said that the Sharks are fully vaccinated all throughout the roster. So really unfortunate. And but it was, I guess, a strong sight to see because, the Sharks kind of limped their way back home. And then not to mention, their first game back, Montreal hadn't won in San Jose in, 21 so years or whatever it was. And the Sharks got shut out. And after that 4-0 start, they lost 3 straight. And we were kind of thinking like, oh boy, yeah, the hot start's over with. Now it's time to start to settle in to, and get a feel of exactly what this team's going to look like. They welcomed in the Winnipeg Jets, who I believe had won like 4 straight games on Saturday. Hard to believe it was already their second time at SAP Center already this year. But the Sharks were able to handle business, and they were able to. They had a good performance from Reimer, and obviously, unfortunately, Winnipeg did get the late goal, get it to overtime. But the Sharks did finally break from the power play. I think that's one thing that was struggling massively over those games that they had been struggling in was the power play. They weren't able to capitalize and score any goals there. So it was nice for them to at least capitalize in overtime there. And then, of course, they ended up bringing in the Sabres on Tuesday, which you could probably argue the Sabres have been performing a little bit higher than expected for them. But the Sharks were able to put up 5 goals in that game. Tomas Hertl had an excellent game there as well. Merkley had his first career NHL goal. And I think it's just impressive to see these young kids step up and win these games. Because I think we've said it before that, you can't win a season early on, but you certainly lose it. And I think this could have been a very easy situation to see the Sharks, drop 4 or 5 in a row and they get below 500. And then all of a sudden they got to start catching up. So I'm impressed with that. Reimer's looked solid in net. I know the Sharks, they do play the Blues tonight. I know Aiden Hill's back in net there. So they'll be hoping to seeing a better performance out of him. I wouldn't say he's looked bad, but unfortunately the wins haven't been there for him in his last few starts. So it'd be nice to see that. The Blues are coming in red hot. I believe they're 6-1-1 for their first 8 games. So really just a really huge test here. And also just important if the Sharks can maybe find a way to at least, take let's see, what are they at? They're 2-1 so far in this homestand. So if they can at least find a way to, get to like 3-2 in this homestand, would be solid because they go back out on a 5-game road trip here coming up after that. So I just want to say, I've been impressed with what I've seen in those 2 games from all the young guns they've had. So that's been a positive sight to see for sure. But yeah, if there's anything you guys want to add as well, Jason or John.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, the young players look. So I was watching I was trying to watch the Winnipeg game, but I couldn't really catch too much of it. We were at a party, but I watched the whole Sabres game, and I was just really impressed with how fast the young players look. Like they just look like the fastest team in all aspects, and it was just really good to see. You know, the Merkley getting his first goal. It looked like a lot of young kids who were just hungry and excited to be there. And the Sharks call up some young players every year, and sometimes they come up and they look like lost. They look like deers in headlights, and you're not getting that with you're not getting that with these Sharks that are coming up. You're getting like they look really good. I feel like I was watching like the hurdle. He looks the best he's looked in a couple of years. Like that goal that he had where he like straight undressed the defenseman and went forehand backhand back to his forehand and got over the goalie's blocker. Like, if they can get the top plays out of Couture and Hurdle, they're Burns, like that's literally all they had for that game. Like they didn't have Meyer, they didn't have Carlson, they didn't have they didn't have Latzik, they didn't have their leaders, but Couture and Hurdle still stepped up, and like the young players, they just look so hungry right now, and we'll see. I mean, they're playing the Blues tonight. We'll see if they can win. Vegas doesn't believe they're going to win. They think they have them as underdogs, but Aiden Hill, he's been looking good. I mean, sure, he had that bad game against Montreal, but every goalie's have a bad game. So my word last week was optimism, and it's still optimism.
Yeah, like John said, they got the Blues tonight. Yeah, tough go, but we'll see what happens if the young guys step up still and are still hungry and they're listening to the leadership of Hurdle and Couture and Burns. Merkley's goal. It's nice to see him get his first and go from there. Like Craig said, a 3-2 roadie would be. Homestand would be nice. 4-1 would be even better. Be greedy a little bit.
Or even get maybe 3-1-1 in there. Get like an OT or shootout loss in there. Get
as many points.
Every point counts.
Every point counts. It's not great to see that only 10,000 are showing up for Shark games. I get it that COVID's going around still, but tickets are dirt cheap. Like you're looking on Game Time app, you can get it for like $10.
That's happening all over the. That's happening all over the. The
you can go to a Calgary game for $5.
Yeah, you can go to a Brooklyn Nets game for $4.
You have to go into Calgary, but I mean that's beside the point.
That's beside the point. You just forget all the travel to get across the border.
Try to get past COVID border lines. Yeah, good luck there, buddy.
I mean, players have said it time and time again. That place is hard to play in when it's loud and it's full. So, hopefully we can turn the corner with COVID and maybe the 4 of us can go to a game in the future. What a concept!
Go team!
Wow, interesting. All right, right on. All right, good stuff, especially from you on Ben. A lot of hockey coverage, no shortage there. I wonder if John timed it. Was that over or under 15 minutes on that one?
I couldn't get it. He started talking so much, and I was just like,
"Run that guy!"
And that's why he doesn't know. And no, he's just looking at his photo of Dak Prescott right now, and he's like, "Oh, Dak."
Daddy, chill.
As he has his headphones off.
I heard the Dak Prescott, but I didn't hear the context.
That's what you were staring at is your phone, looking at a photo of Dak Prescott.
Where are we at in society today?
It's Cooper Rush, motherfucker.
Oh,
damn!
Wow.
All right. Well,
what a rush.
Well, let's quickly get into just a little bit of MLB talk. We have to acknowledge that we have our World Series champion. It is the Atlanta Braves that ended up taking down the Houston Astros in 6 games.
None of us called that.
I had Atlanta.
Start the season. No, start the playoffs.
Oh, of course, start the season. Yeah.
Okay. No, start the playoffs when we were doing a playoff guest.
Oh, of course not. Yeah, I know. They ended up taking down 6 games, which I don't know about you guys, but I think I got a little more satisfaction in the fact that they won in Houston. Obviously, it'd be nice to, for teams to win in front of their home crowd, but a little bit of a nice, just a little bit of icing on the cake to see Atlanta do it. So, fellas, I guess if there's anything you want to mention about it, or just maybe just in closing of the MLB season in general, I guess this is the time to do so.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm stupid or not for not realizing that Ron
Don't let us
Washington
answer
was
that.
part
Well,
of the
I'll answer this for you.
Braves.
I'll say he's an idiot.
Thank you. Yeah, I did not realize that Ron Washington was part of the Braves organization. So the fact that finally see him get a ring after 50 years plus in the MLB, like between being a player and being a coach, for him to finally get a ring is amazing.
You play to win the game.
Jorge Soler definitely deserved to win the World Series MVP. I was kind of worried they weren't going to give it to him. They're going to give it to someone like Freeman or someone like that who's been there for all season. But yeah, I'm still happy the Braves won over the anytime the Astros win, it's a good win. And every time the Astros lose, it's a win for all of us.
Yeah.
Jesus. What'd you say again?
Don't ask him to repeat it. I'll just butcher it 4 more times.
No, it's good. Braves, good talented team. I looked at their lineup. I think it was Game 6. I was like, they have a legit lineup. And some of their acquisitions and their pitching showed up. Max Fried, and that guy can pitch. He looks like a bulldog out there. So they're in good hands. Quick
State
question
Farm.
for you guys. A's odds for the World Series next year. You want to take a shot in the dark?
Oh, you know what? I heard this.
It's a lot lower than it should be.
I do know that they have the same Ben will enjoy this one. They have the same odds as the Angels.
That's right.
I'm going to go with plus 5,000.
Isn't it like 35 to 1 or something like that?
You are correct, man.
Let's go.
So it's plus 3,500. Okay.
500.
Wow.
Yeah,
It should be higher. It should be over. It should be over with the Royals and the Orioles.
But,
And it will be by the time the season starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
3/4 of this is inaccurate.
let's just get there.
they might be
Yeah, that's about normal.
bottom 5 team next year in MLB.
Yeah.
But,
So
I'd be remiss.
oh
I'd be
sorry.
remiss if I didn't say anything about Buster Posey retiring today. Kind of a shock.
Joey
but,
B, Tom.
Yeah, I think he still had some years left. Maybe not behind the plate, but he definitely could have played first for another 2 or 3 years. Face of the franchise. I always thought of him as like Derek Jeter West, just the captain of the team basically, and Hall of Fame on deck basically. So
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I would just add before I just get into I think just the World Series, I would just say I'm glad you mentioned the Buster Posey. He's been a face of, I mean, I don't know, maybe Bay Area, just sports in general, but definitely when it comes to Bay Area baseball, for sure. He's always been a guy of class for sure. And obviously a very fan favorite in all his, 11 years or something like that of the Giants. So yeah, something like that. Yeah. So obviously it's tough loss for the Giants to see him go. I mean, he's only 34 years old. It seems like a lot of the decision he made was just based on the fact that he is ready to be, ready to be with his family full time, be a dad. I know he's got four kids, 2 sets of twins. One set is pretty dang young, in fact, and it's the same ones that he basically opted out of the short COVID season to be around the family, just to be to be safe and like that. So hats off to Posey. I think exactly what you said, Jay. I think he definitely had more years in him, especially with the idea that we may not see the hitters hit any, or I'm sorry, not the hitters, the pitchers hit anymore, which means we might get a universal DH starting next year. Which means, if Posey would have stuck around, there's a chance that, he could just be a designated hitter or a first baseman. I think that's one thing that's always a concern for catchers is the amount of time they're in the squat. It's a lot of work on the knees. But like I said, I think, Buster had his reasons and, whether or not that played into it too much or not, that's up for interpretation. I know he had his press conference today. I'm sure he got asked the question. I didn't catch any of it, so I don't know if he necessarily answered that question in particular. But yeah, definitely want to just make sure we do mention Posey, just a hell of a career. And yeah, I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer for sure. I don't know how he could not be considered one. But anything else, just I guess to touch on just a little bit about the Braves and everything. Oh, sorry. I think what's crazy, I just out of curious question, I think just before I even talk about it, based on just on paper, if you put the Astros team and the Braves team, would you have said that the Braves were just on paper a better team than the Astros, or would you say the Astros were probably better? Out of your guys' opinion, just paper wise?
They have the better all-around team. I could argue that the Astros had the better hitting staff. Obviously, it didn't show up this World Series, but pitching wise and bullpen wise, it was the Braves. That was just too much for the Astros to handle.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Braves had a better.
Yeah. I think another thing too
Hey,
is
man,
that,
Ben wanted to talk.
yeah. But I think another thing too is I think what the beautiful thing about sports is that not always the best team wins. It's really about being the hottest team when it matters the most. And it's definitely not knocking the Braves because they're a solid team. But let's just look at the NLCS by itself. The Dodgers on paper, I don't know if you could argue any team on paper has a better team than the Dodgers, but the Braves are playing better baseball. The Dodgers had to go through a lot to get past the Giants, and the Braves are on fire. I mean, this team, they lost Ronald Acuna Jr. and they were able to they lost Morton in the first game of this World Series, and they still got the job done. So that's the magic of sports sometimes, is it doesn't always come down to being the best team. It's just about being hot at the right time. And like I said, the Braves are a solid team, but they were also red hot, and it's congrats to them. They absolutely earned this one. And it's cool to see a franchise like them that hasn't, that's been through some really tough years, especially as of late with the Falcons and everything like that. The city definitely deserved a championship. So kudos to them for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, first one since '95.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. It's the Freeman, is that the first baseman for the Braves?
Yes.
That was pretty cool because they obviously were putting a lot of attention on him, just being the draft pick from early 2000s, and just seeing I like seeing the transformation of him from a youth to now. And you're like, it's cool to see a player who sticks it out. He wasn't chasing it, going to different teams, trying to, win with someone else. He was dug in. He's going to be there for the long run. So it was good to see. And yeah, I mean, to go off of that question off of paper, like I would definitely agree with you guys because of the all around aspect. Because I mean, obviously I needed to be educated a little bit on him, on who certain players were. But once I understood that the bullpen was a little bit better all around, and you even saw it in the playoffs, and just them. I think in Game 5, the bullpen let the game slip away. But besides that, I thought that they played really well this playoffs, and even them losing big name guys and key players at different periods of the season. I'm going to actually say that was probably a blessing in disguise for them, because it made them have to deal with adversity at different steps when you're not really sure, can we do this? And then they kept showing we're not going to quit. We're not going to give up. And it was good to see a team like that dig in deep and come out with the trophy, and especially fuck Correa. So yeah, I mean, it's fucking awesome. So, and I'm not going to lie, I was genuinely pissed off, and it ruined my mood when the Braves won. They didn't fucking show Correa, because you know why? I guarantee you he was the first little bitch running down that tunnel leaving, because he was all butthurt that they lost. So I'm like, hell no. So I was, no joke, I was hella happy. I was jumping up and down. I was excited. And then I didn't see that. So it just killed my mood. And yeah, so anytime you get Correa upset, it's a good day for me. So yeah, that's all I got.
The rumor is that Correa's going to sign with the Angels, though.
What?
No, I'm just bullshitting.
I was like, I was about to get on.
I had a feeling like when Jay said that, I was like, he's got to be pranking him.
Well, if you think about it, they don't have a real shortstop. Was it Andrelton Simmons or something like that, or Jose Iglesias?
Jose Iglesias, their
Yeah.
shortstop.
They could
Simmons was with
a
Minnesota
crash
last year.
dummy there. I don't care. We are not putting Correa there. Okay, like
So
period. I don't care.
it's just kind of crazy to think that, Acuna getting hurt pretty much led to them having to go get someone like Jorge Soler at the deadline. And it's like Matt, like he ended up being the World Series MVP.
I'll say another person wasn't the guy that they immediately went and got after Acuna was Jock Peterson. Like that was the guy they immediately got once Acuna went down.
They got Jock, they got Soler, and I believe they got Darnod. And Darren in the deadline. Hey, Darnod had that grand slam in the game 5.
Talk about Travis d'Arnaud.
Darno. Yeah. There we go. I don't know how to pronounce
He's
it.
an idiot.
Well, it's D and flat. There's like a.
Let's
N
move
up
on
there.
before we
Yeah.
break John here, all right?
Yeah, let's start talking about shitty teams, like maybe Ben's favorite teams.
All right. Well, good stuff. One really quick, I did want to shout out to Sean Washington getting his ring, but also former A Stephen Vogt also gets a championship ring out of this one, as he was going to put on the Braves who they acquired, who unfortunately got hurt, so he was unavailable pretty much. I think throughout the entire playoffs. So shout out to Stephen Vogt as well.
Shout out to Pablo. It's his 4th ring.
Craig.
Yeah, Pablo.
Because he was on the Braves for 69
Agree.
games. Very nice.
Right on. All right. We're going to transition things
like
over
it.
to the gridiron now. It is time for the NFL. Week number 8 is now in the books, as we'll take a look back to see how some of the teams we like to cover on this show did. And I guess any volunteers of who would like to go first on this one? I'll just leave it out to anybody who wants it first.
Let's let Jay go.
Jay, the San Francisco 49ers, they finally were able to bounce back. I guess just needed to get away from home. Little road warriors they are. Went over to Chicago to take on a team that's in just disarray with the Chicago Bears. So, Jay, it was Jimmy Garoppolo's homecoming in a sense. I know he's from Chicago, so take it away.
Yeah, no, I mean, at first half, I was a little worried. I mean, like, what same old song and dance. And then the second half turned, and Jimmy, he played well. Not gonna, talk down on Jimmy or anything like that. He played well and got the win, rushed a couple touchdowns. Defense showed up. Justin Fields, I mean, he made some plays. Like there was one play in particular, a touchdown, where I thought, oh, he's dead to rights, and he still made a touchdown out of it, going from left. And I was like, oh man. Damn! Deebo Samuel continues to ball out, keeps on doing his thing. Brandon Ayuk had a very solid game. So maybe he's moving himself quite out of the doghouse. Kittle might be back this weekend for the game, and they face the Arizona Cardinals at home. Like you kind of said, they haven't played well at home. They haven't won a game at home, and seems like a year and a half, something. It's been bad. So they need to do something. They need to make some plays. They are facing the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray injured, DeAndre Hopkins injured. So even if they do play, they're not 100%. I would put Kyler Murray maybe like at 60%, but 60% of Kyler Murray, still pretty good.
No, you're right.
I would be blitzing him and putting more pressure on his ankle all day long, making him uncomfortable.
Ouch, baby.
That's why I'm on my bed right now and not a defensive coordinator for the Niners. So, yeah, I got that. Looking forward to the game. They got a tough 2-game stretch. They got Arizona on Sunday, and then the following Monday they got the Rams at home. So might be hopefully they can split, to be honest. I don't see them going 2-0. I would love for them to go 2-0, and that would make some noise in the NFC. NFC is loaded. We all know this. And it's just going to be an exciting game to see this weekend.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see with the injury concerns, obviously with Arizona, to see exactly what team you get. But yeah, the Niners have definitely been a team that have struggled at home, especially if you're looking at covering against the spread wise. The Niners have been very poor when it comes to that. So interesting enough. All right, Cohooney, let's transition over to you with the Cowboys. No Dak Prescott. No problem, I guess. They went into Minnesota. They handled their business. So why don't you go ahead and break it down exactly how you saw it?
Yeah, I mean, like Jason said, the NFC is really top heavy this year. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, the Cowboys. Uh, something that came out today. Amari Cooper basically told the media, "Oh yeah, we knew Friday that Dak wasn't going to play." So they were just pretending to act, but they were just pretending like Dak was going to play. And I don't know if that's a good idea to have him come out and do all those pregame stuff before the game if you knew he wasn't going to play. Just a chance that he does like re-aggravate the calf more. But so they started Cooper Rush. They were in Minnesota. He didn't look good to start the game. He looked like a player making his first career start. Game was 10-3 at halftime, and then he came out and the first series after half, he's hit a 76-yard touchdown, and Cedric Wilson just split the safeties, amazing pass, and the defense just they held Minnesota to, I believe, 2 field goals in the second half, and they just came out and they were really fantastic to keep Minnesota at bay. And a Minnesota team, they got Cook, they got Jefferson, they got Thielen, but they just were not moving the ball against that Cowboys defense. And then Rush did what he needed to do. There was a Minnesota went up by 3, and Rush hit Cooper on a kind of a fluky play that actually hit the corners right in the chest. It hit the cornerback right in the chest. Ended up being like a 3 bobble catch by Cooper. And then it was 3rd and 16, and Mike Zimmer for the Vikings. I don't understand why this guy's still the head coach. He's supposed to be this offensive guru, and he's just so dumb. They take a timeout on 3rd and 16, and then they go and take another timeout. And the refs are supposed to
That's a penalty,
ignore.
right?
Well, so the refs are supposed to ignore it if they try to take a second one. But if the refs mess up and actually grants it, it's a delay of game penalty.
Yeah.
So because the refs messed up, they have to call a delay of game. So instead of 3rd and 16, it'd be 3rd and 11. I mean, yes, the refs messed up, but also Zimmer messed up for trying to call the second one. So both messed up. And then Zeke, they did a safe play. They just dropped it down to the running back, get as many yards as you can, then we'll kick the game tying field goal, go to overtime. Well, Zeke splits 2 defenders and then almost breaks another tackle of another 2 defenders and gets the 3rd and 11 for a first down. And the very next play, a perfect fade to Cooper for the touchdown. And yeah, Cooper to Cooper has never happened in the NFL where the quarterback with the first name is the same as the receiver with the last name that caught it. So that's kind of cool. What's up, Ben?
Yeah, so I was just curious. So when Craig said, tell us what you saw. Now, are you recapping the entire fucking game? Or
I'm sorry,
'cause there's a lot of fucking plays here.
I'm sorry. Didn't you just recap the whole NHL?
Talking in 15 minutes here. I'm just saying, are we going to talk about the guy who was selling the peanuts in the concessions in 312?
No, we're not.
Ben has a dinner date. We got to go.
Well, maybe don't spend so long talking about NHL. Okay, yes, they won, and now they go to Denver where they should get Dak back, and they should be a win. Go ahead, Ben.
Oh my God.
All right. Okay, that was hilarious. Let's just take a second to breathe here really quick. But all right, Ben, we will transition over to you. Once again, this seems to be a common thing when it comes to the Rams and the Lions. They're just 2 teams going in, just opposite directions. So I guess take your pick. Which one you like to start with, the good or the bad?
Well, both are actually pretty good. So I'm going to start with the Rams. They ended up beating Houston 38-22. Played a pretty strong game. Matt Stafford, though, 305 yards. 305 yards, 3 TDs, and no interceptions again. So that's really good to see the consistency with not turning over the ball too much. And it's just a good confidence boost to the team, knowing that he's able to hit the targets that he needs to. So they go and play against the Tennessee Titans. Yes, they play against the Titans next. So that'll be a little bit closer, I think, than the Texans game. I still think that the Rams will take care of business, and I think it'll. I'm gonna say maybe a 3-point spread. That's my call. So that's my educated guess on that. Speaking of the Rams, though, they did end up waiving Deshaun
You're not
Jackson.
educated.
Shut your face. They released Deshaun Jackson. Kind of surprising. I don't know if do you guys have any insight on why that happened? I mean,
They were seeking a trade and they couldn't make a trade, so they just released him.
oh, okay. So
Can't do it.
we'll see what happens. See if somebody else picks him up, goes out on a limb and gives him a try. But he's a very talented player, ex-Cal player. But the good thing but then the Rams playing the Titans, though, they're going to have to see Adrian Peterson, who ended up getting signed by the Titans. I'm curious to see how he'll fit in with them, being a longtime Lion and Viking and all these other things. So, yeah, but we'll see. I don't know if he'll be really much of an impact given that he's an older player. So now we'll go to the other game that I got a report about. So the Lions the week before had a pretty close game. Unfortunately, lost to the Rams in a close one. Kind of pulled out some trick plays. Well, this time the coach kept it very short and sweet. Made sure there were no trick plays, absolutely no bullshit. Let's just show we suck. So they lost 44-6 to the Eagles. Jared Goff, though, only 222 yards. Again, just going for the short gains, being a little wuss with the puck or with the ball. Sorry. Sorry, a little. Sorry. Still got hockey on the brain. 0 TDs, but he matched that in interceptions with 0. So there's a plus and a minus to that. So the good thing, though, for the Lions is it's been a tough outing, obviously, of course. They're 0-8 to start the season. I've crossed off the record so badly now I don't even know anymore. I'm not going to be anywhere close to it. But the best part is this week I think there's a good potential that they won't lose as they have a bye week. So I think there's a good chance that they may not lose. But
this is inaccurate.
You never know. Give them time. So if anyone can fuck up a bye week, it would be the Lions. So
the Lions lose. We're coming for it.
So they will be coming back, though. What's it called? And for week 10, they'll be playing the Steelers in Pittsburgh. So unfortunately, I think it's going to be cold as hell. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be snowing in Pittsburgh by that time. So Goff is going to play even worse. So probably expect, I would say, even worse. I would say multiple interceptions, and I'm not even kidding. Multiple interceptions, if not fumbles or something. Jared Goff.
Are you saying they should bet the prop bet?
Oh yes, bet the prop bet all the way. It's going to happen. That's
run that guy.
But yeah, no, that's all I got to report on the NFL side. Yeah, go ahead, Craig. You go and bring some positivity to this.
All right, well, we can jump right into positivity of things.
I don't know if it's positivity considering one of his teams.
Well, we're gonna start with the Buffalo Bills. They were able to handle business with the Dolphins, the second meeting with them already this season. And a little sketch kind of the first half. I want to say went into the halftime at 3-3. Nothing really going for the offense there. But the defense made some good plays when Miami kind of had a chance to maybe put some more points on the board in that first half. Buffalo's defense stood tall, and second half the offense did finally come alive. I want to say it was 26-11, I believe the final of that game was. So the Bills ended up handling their business there in a game that they really should. And if there's another game that they absolutely should do, it is this weekend. They go down to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. And this should be another game that the Bills should not struggle with. I could see them, I think it's on paper, this is a game you think, oh, the Bills are going to go into Jacksonville and absolutely smash the Jaguars. I could see this game maybe, not getting out of hand, just because we've kind of mentioned they're in the stretch of 3 games where they're not really playing anybody too competitive. So, but you got to stack the wins up and try to gain yourself into a good spot when it comes to positioning when eventually down the road when they make the playoffs. So, I think they just got to handle their business. Injuries down in Jacksonville this weekend. We'll also transition over to the Raiders, who had a bye week this past week. Obviously, tons of off the field issues going on there. Everything going on there, but they still have a game this weekend over in the Meadowlands against the New York Giants. And once again, I think this is another chance. This is a game that the Raiders are on the road, but in my opinion, they're a better team than the Giants are. So if they want to, I think even though they're 5-2, I want to say they're the number 2 seed right now in the AFC as it stands, if I'm not mistaken. But I think a lot of people still aren't convinced this team is very good. I would say I'm kind of not really willing to say that I definitely wouldn't say they're a bad team. I would just say that I'm not convinced that they are as good as where they are position wise. But this is a game that they need to go in there and they need to take it. So, especially with the bye week, you have the extra rest. I know this is a West Coast team going east, but you had that time off. So, hopefully that does come to benefit. The Giants are on short rest. They just played Monday Night Football in Kansas City. So that's another thing that can work in their favor here. So in my opinion, I think the Raiders need to go into New Jersey and they need to handle it with the Giants there, put themselves at 6-2 instead of, dropping a game here in a game that they just need to have. So we'll be interested to see how that one plays out. I think they do go in Meadowlands. I do think they'll handle business there. So that'll be an interesting game to watch though. And then we transition to the bad, and that would be the Minnesota Vikings. I know John went through probably every single play that happened in that game, but I guess just to give you the mindset from the side, it just I don't even know. It's just so frustrating because that's a game Minnesota just needs to take care of. The thing is that yes, Dallas is without Dak Prescott. The quarterback is the most important position in football. If you could argue in all of sports that the quarterback is the most important position. They had Cooper Rush, who's had 3 career attempts, up until that game. And I'm on the same boat as John. I just don't think they have the right head coach there with Zimmer. Defensively, I know they didn't give up a lot of points, but offensively was just not good either. They had they put in the opening drive for a touchdown and upset nothing, and that was really the only thing offensively they had. I think one thing that was huge was that they converted on their first 3rd down, and then they went 0 for their next 11. So they went 1 for 12 on the 3rd down conversions. They just didn't have anything going there, and it was just one of those games that they kept close, and it was dangling in front of them, but they just never wanted to take control of it. And then the Cowboys ended up taking it, when it got down to the wire. So just not good for Minnesota. I think their mediocrity of what this team is showing. I don't know what to get from this team week to week. They go into Baltimore this weekend. It was the start of that 3-game gauntlet. I think they had they kind of got the luck on their side. Going to the Dallas game, they had to face Dak Prescott. They didn't get the job done, especially at home. Now they go into Baltimore. And like I said, I don't know what they expect from this team week to week. Watch them just go into Baltimore and win this game outright. I would be surprised, especially with Baltimore. They're coming off of a bye week, and the game before that, they got beat up by the Bengals really bad. So the Ravens are wanting to come out to just show up that game was a fluke. So I don't like Minnesota in the spot. I don't think it's going to be good. And, even if they somehow come out of this game with a victory, they got to go to the Chargers in LA the following weekend. So it's a tough one, but I think some things need to change with Minnesota. I just think, it starts with the head coach for sure. I just think there needs to be change there. So, but like I say, it was unfortunate that they were just kind of unable to really show up in that game the way I saw it. So I think they had a golden opportunity to take advantage, and they didn't do it. So we'll see how it goes, though. Maybe they'll at least compete with the Ravens, but I don't like their chances at all. So I think they'll end up probably dropping that one. So, but that's all I got for that as well. I guess if there's anything just overall this weekend, any big games we're all looking forward to.
Well, I think we should I'll use it as my game that I'm going to go over with. I'm going to keep an eye on the Packers and the Chiefs game. Aaron Rodgers is out due to COVID. Kind of a whole shit show over there in Green Bay with whether or not, why he lied to the media about being vaccinated and stuff like that. So now Jordan Love, they took him in the first round last year. For his first career start, he's had basically a whole year and a half to just sit there and wait for his turn. And now this is his turn. Is he going to live up to the hype, or maybe they're going to move on and they will keep Rodgers in the offseason. As for the Chiefs, they look awful Monday night against the Giants. They somehow won. Really shouldn't have. They kind of got away with ref ball there. So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on that. I think, in my opinion, I think Green Bay, even with Jordan Love, takes this game in Arrowhead.
Wow, we'll take.
I think the Cincinnati and Cleveland game's pretty good. Divisional rival. It's a good game. Maybe a crossroads game for the Cleveland Browns if they want to get back in it. So I'll go with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, anything else on your radar?
I was actually going to say the Chiefs game because that was going to be very interesting with not Brett Favre out, Aaron Rodgers out. I'm curious to see how that goes, but another game that stands out to me because it's just going to be a battle of the shittiness, and I'm just curious. With two shitty teams, you can get a real high scoring fest, or you could get a snooze fest. So I'm curious to see what it's going to be between the Texans and the Dolphins. Either way, it's going to be a consolation prize victory, but to see 2 1-7 teams go against each other, I think you'll kind of see some really interesting plays go on that maybe are a little unorthodox in certain situations because they're just going to try to see what happens. So yeah, no, I'll definitely say that would be one that I'll be keeping an eye on.
Yeah. I gotta say, as much as with Derrick Henry out, I think that kind of what Jason hinted at earlier, I think that Titans Rams game on Sunday Night Football could still be an interesting ball game. I know that the Tennessee Titans, I know losing Henry is a big blow to the team, but Titans have been playing a lot better. I think we almost kind of owe them maybe a little bit of apology on this show. I think we kind of wrote that team off a little bit when we were talking about the worst division in the football. The Titans, I mean, even the Colts have looked a little bit better too. I'm still not convinced that the Colts are really that good, just because they have the quarterback.
Speaking of the Colts, they're playing right now against the Jets team that lost Mike White, so they have their third string or whatever. I don't even know who his name is in right now. It's bad.
Yeah. So, yeah. Now you made me lose my train of thought. Oh, I was gonna say yeah. So I don't know. I just they still got weapons with Tennessee, so I could see this being an interesting game, but I still think the Rams will pull it off. I mean, the Rams look like a very, very, very good team. I know John wasn't very convinced that the Rams are very good. I don't know what else they have to do to prove it. And they also just went and got Von Miller from the Broncos this week. So
Yeah.
I don't know. John, you want to just maybe say the Rams are not bad or anything?
No, yeah, the Rams are one of the top 5 teams in the league. I have to admit it.
All right.
One of the top 6.
Glad we're there. So, but I just think it's still 2 good teams on Sunday Night Football. So I'm looking forward to seeing that game. So we'll see if Tennessee can at least compete with them for sure. So
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, no Henry. It's gonna be tough.
Oh, absolutely. Of course. Yeah. I mean, Derrick Henry is their most explosive player by far. All right. We'll shift things over now. But Cohooney, don't go too far because it is on you. It is the Cohooney 5. It is back again. We also have the bowling recap in there. I haven't forgot about it. So Cohooney, take it away. Start with that bowling recap, and then obviously let us know how last week's Cohooney 5 played out, as well as what you got going on this week.
So I guess you don't remember that we carpooled on Monday because I didn't go to bowling.
No, you're right.
Wrong.
Okay, well, I just didn't know if you got like texts in from your friends, how they did there. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I can talk about that. The team.
Okay,
took 3 out-
actually, we're out of time on the bowling
4.
recap, so.
Team took 3 out of 4. Okay, so yeah, for the Cohooney 5, went 4-1 last week. Crazy part is the one loss I had was the main event where Glover Teixeira actually upset Jan Blachowicz to win the light heavyweight title. Dominant second round finish. It was really impressive. He is now the second oldest person to win a UFC belt at the age of 42. Only other person is Randy Couture at 43. But yeah, we got another pay-per-view coming up this week. Should be a really amazing one. Going to be starting off the main card. It is going to be Michael Chandler facing off against Justin Gaethje. This is a fight that I really don't even want to bet. I just want to sit down. I have no idea who's going to win. It's one of the closest fights on the card. It's going to be a really fun fight. I hope it goes to a decision and we get all 15 minutes. I'm going to go with Chandler to beat Gaethje, but I'm not really convinced. I think this can go either way. The very next fight is going to be Marlon Vera versus Frankie Edgar. Another close fight. I'm going to go with the favorite Vera in this one over Edgar, but I mean, this is going to be a fun fight as well. Both fighters, they kind of need this win. Vera's been a little hit and miss lately, but I have him winning over against Frankie Edgar. Next up, we got Billy Q facing off against Shane Burgos. Billy Q is coming in as the underdog, but he's looked really impressive with 2 straight wins, and I think he's going to make it 3 straight. So give me the underdog, Billy Q, over Shane Burgos. Next up, we got Thug Rose Namajunas over against Wei Lee. This is a rematch for the title back in April, where Namajunas beat Wei Lee for the strawweight title. Give me the champion. Give me Rose to defend her title against Wei Lee. And then in the main event is for the welterweight title, Kamaru Usman's defending his title against Colby Covington. This fight was, this is part 2 of their hopefully a trilogy fight. And I say hopefully a trilogy fight because I do have and do. I have Colby Covington beating Kamaru Usman, in which should be a potential fight of the year candidate.
Wow.
And yes, please give me I want the trilogy fight between these 3 because it's just amazing television. So I'm going with Marlon Vera, Billy Q, Michael Chandler, Rose Namajunas, and Colby Covington.
Right on. All right.
Was that quick enough for you, Ben?
Daddy, chill.
All right, Cohooney, thank you as always for another outstanding Cohooney 5 there. We'll shift things over to the softball diamond, and rain did play a little factor on Monday night, but we'll just go ahead and backtrack things over. We'll start things off in order of sequence. Starting off over to Friday night, we had a double header to make up for the previous week getting rained out. So we had a split doubleheader, first game at 6:30, and then obviously later on at 9 o'clock. The first game handled it pretty easily. Went up against one of the kind of weaker teams of the league. And oddly enough, the very first play of the entire game, they let off with an inside the park home run. So it's kind of like, oh, that's not the little bit auspicious, but a little bit of an auspicious start. But we ended up actually outscoring them 14-1 the rest of the game. So that was kind of all they had really going offensively. We were able to just kind of keep getting hits here and there, and just kept kind of tallying on. So we ended up handling business there, which was good. And then later on the 9 o'clock game, we had into just a game that offensively we just struggled a little bit. My pitches were kind of all over the place, so it did not help the situation. We played pretty well defensively. It's just when it came down to it, they had one big inning where they had they think they scored, I don't know, at least half their runs in just the one inning itself. So a little bit of a tough one. I think it was just really even kill team, probably one of the most competitive games we've really played, I think, this season, just when it came to just overall, like I said, just the evenness, I think, between both games. We ended up dropping, I think it was 8-6 was the final of that game. So yeah, it was a fun game for sure. But the good thing is that I think there's a pretty darn good chance that we're going to probably play that team in the playoffs and potentially the very first round. So I'm looking forward to a rematch with those guys. I think it's a game that I think if we just hit the ball I think we can handle them. But yeah, it's a solid team over there as well. So I would definitely be excited for a part 2 of that one. So I think after that game, through 6 games now, we're 4-2. I believe we're the 3 seed now at the moment. The standings haven't been updated last time I checked. So, but we got 2 games left of the regular season there on Fridays before we jump into playoffs there. So I'm excited to see how that one finishes out. Now we jump into Monday. So again, back-to-back rainouts there. That was one game we got rained out. So we have 2 more games left to go before we jump into playoffs there. Tuesday night. Once again, spotting 10 runs over there. This game did not end up becoming an issue with spotting those runs. It was a close game kind of throughout. We ended up kind of pulling away late. I believe the final score was 20-14. If I'm not mistaken, I just know that we ran the clock out in the bottom of the 6th inning. And I remember we took the lead in that. I think we ended that inning down by 2, and I think we scored at least 6 runs. So I want to say it was 20-14 against our good friends, the Burners there. So we ended up sweeping the 3 games against them. We improved to, I believe, 6-1 now. So we have one more regular season game left there before we have playoffs on Tuesday nights. And then last night, in probably the toughest league that any of us are playing in on Wednesday nights, we went up against Bad Intentions, which is, the pick and pull of about 5 different teams on Monday nights. It's an all-star team. And it was a tough one last night. I believe the final score was 15-6. It was one of those games. I just think defensively, I thought we were fine. I mean, they're hitting the ball all over the place. I think just offensively, we struggled a bit. We had I think we had 2 innings where we went down 1-2-3. That was probably the killer for us. We had a couple innings where we got some runners on base. We left some ducks on the pond. That ended up hurting a little bit too. Cohooney did have his first little league or inside the park home run, whatever you want to call it, after an error. So the funny thing was that as soon as it all happened, went down, I said, that's never how I pictured Cohooney's first into the park home run to be. It was a ground ball on the infield. So funny how that one worked out. It was a tough game, but it was still fun. And we're 0-4 in that one. But interestingly enough, with the division, the way it's worked out with the one rain out we've had on Wednesdays, there's one team we haven't played against. So the 4 games, we played 2 against Pitchmakers and 2 against Bad Intentions. So the way it's worked out is there's 2 teams that are 4-0 and there's 2 teams that are 0-4. And now the teams that are undefeated play each other, and the 2 teams winless play each other. So it's kind of like pick your own poison, because now the winner of the battle of winless is going to face the loser of the undefeateds, while vice versa, the loser of the undefeateds will play the winner of the there's so much going on. I'm losing track of what I'm saying, but I think y'all understand what I'm trying to get at on that one. So interesting enough, we're playing against a team that's spotting 7 runs on next Wednesday. So it would certainly be nice if we could just pull out a victory. But it's tough luck of the draw with Wednesdays. We win the league last season, so we get bumped up, and we're playing against 3 just really, really good teams. But I think for the most part, we've held our own. It's just been tough. We're playing, it's like, we can hit the ball, but we're playing against teams that all hit the ball really, really well. And there's not a whole lot you can do necessarily in slow pitch softball when teams are hitting the ball really well. So you can only limit the damage the best you can. So,
no, you're right.
No, you're right. So I guess Jay, Cohooney, if there's anything I guess you want to add Cohooney, I guess you can add stuff from Friday night as well. But if there's anything either of you guys want to add.
No, not really much. I hit like crap on Friday. And then yesterday, yesterday I had that little league inside the park home run, and then my second at bat, I had that solid hit over the third baseman. So, but I did misplay a play in right field, so that kind of was unfortunate. Just
awesome.
It was weird because like off the bat, it was going to my right, so I started going to the right, and I lost it in the light for a quick sec, and then I got out of the light, and it was on my left side. I was like, so I had to turn back left, and I tried to run back and catch it and jump for it, and I missed it. So that was unfortunate. I made up for it though next time the ball hits me, I caught that one at least. But yeah, it's Wednesdays is tough. Not much you can do there. Honestly, that league, pitch smackers and no glove, no whatnot. What's the other one? Pop Fit Photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all three of those teams should just not have to give up any runs against each other. I think all three of those teams are just pretty solid against each other. I think it's just that we should be just give us a couple of runs each game against all three of those teams, just because I think that's more fair than having one team. Like Huffit Photo is not 7 runs better than Pitchmakers and the other team. Like I
Well,
think they got screwed as well. Kinda.
Yeah, but I mean, the reality is,
I know why they did it. I just don't.
Well, the thing is that I think it's pretty clear that Pitchmakers, they're a solid team. They have been running. They've been running their league night for for a few seasons. They started spotting runs. I think they took their foot off the gas a bit. I'm not going to go out on my limb and say they threw a season, but I think they kind of played with, we don't really care what happens. And because of that, they got the okay to no longer have to spot runs. So now their foot's back on the gas, but that's just the way I see it. I digest on that one, but that's, like I said, that's just the way I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Jay,
you got anything?
I got nothing.
Got nothing. All right.
Oh, he's got to get off on lawn.
Well, it's true because we are, in fact, blessed with another week.
My Lord!
It is back again. Jason, you're upset about something, and just want to let you know this is a place to let it all out. So, Jay, what is bothering you this week?
2 things from the same sport, the NBA. You guys familiar who Scottie Pippen is?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, he comes out and says that MJ made him look really bad in The Last Dance and blah, 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 and made him condescending and everything like this. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, first of all, the documentary was mostly about MJ because he agreed to do it. And second of all, they were just regurgitating facts that happened. You sat on the bench on a game-winning opportunity because play wasn't drawn up for you. It was drawn up for Tony Kukoc. You got mad about that. Also waited till the season started one year to have your knee surgery where you could have had it in the off season like most players do. You waited till the season because you're upset about your contract. So to get all mad and high and dry about MJ, yeah, does MJ have an ego? Sure, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Like, of course he does. But to get all bent out of shape and say he was condescending, no, they were just speaking facts about the documentary. If it showed you in a bad light, it showed you in a bad light. Sorry, it is what it is. My second thing is the NBA recently announced the top 75 players, and I have taken issue with, and I'm the biggest Damian Lillard fan outside of the Warriors, but there's no reason why he should be on the top 75. What has he done? Klay Thompson's won 3 titles. He's made a crap load of threes, multiple All-Star games. Sure, it's what have you done for lately thing. He's been out for 2 years, but I'm sorry, Dame should not be on the top 75 right now. If he goes to multiple All-Star games eventually, maybe wins an MVP, maybe wins a scoring title, sure. But to me, he's just been like a cool. He's went to the All-Star game. Like, I think he just went to his first All-Star game like 2 years ago. So I don't know. Just again, that's all opinionated anyway. But I was just like, there are other deserving players to be on that list besides. So that's what I got.
Yeah. Hey, if keeping Clay off the All NBA 75 is going to make him even more hungry to come to the season,
Absolutely.
fine with me. Fine with me. Yeah, but Clay should have been there. That was so disrespectful.
So that's what I got.
How many people in that All 75 can score 36 points in a quarter? None.
Yeah, my sister was at that game too.
Crazy.
Well, Jay, I have one question before we transition. Do you feel better at least?
Sure.
That's what this is all about. It's all about.
But dinner's coming, so we're good.
Yeah, it's all about just letting loose,
Getting off my chest.
taking a breath. Yeah, get it off your chest. So that's what we do here on this show.
Get off your lawn.
Everybody.
Get off my double A's. My double A's.
Whoa.
Spot on. All right. All right, we've got to move things on to easily one of our favorite segments, probably. If I could speak English, if I get it out of there. It's one of our weekly segments. It is the Hit It or Quit It segment. If this is your first time with this segment, it's pretty simple. We all just kind of take turns. We usually have one question each where we just kind of go around, present the question, whether we're hitting it or we're quitting. We all go around the table and just say how we're feeling about that question in particular. So boys, let's just get right to it. Who wants to kick things off this week?
I'll go first. We kind of mentioned it earlier with the Packers game and everything, and Aaron Rodgers is now COVID. Earlier in the season, though, or before the season started, he said he was immunized. I guess he did his own treatment or whatever. No, he's not vaccinated, so to speak. He's not, per NFL rules and government rules, not vaccinated. So my question to you guys is should Aaron Rodgers be suspended? Hit it or quit it?
Yeah, I'll start. I'm going to hit it that he should be he should get a couple of games suspended just for the simple fact, he lied to the media straight up. And the Packers, as well as the Rodgers, the Packers should get fined. The Raiders last year got $500,000 fine for COVID protocol mandate not following it. So I don't know what happened, but yeah, that happened. The Packers knew about this, and they still complied with Rodgers, and they should be getting even more than what the Raiders got last year, because this was really bad. You see Lamar Jackson, you see Cole Beasley, when they're being interviewed at press conferences, they're wearing masks. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been doing that all season. It's not a good look, and yeah, Rodgers, he needs to get a couple of games for this. It's not a good look.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna agree with that on that one. I'm kind of one of those guys. It sucks, but I think a lot of punishment does sometimes come down to in sports with how high up you are on the rankings. I know Aaron Rodgers is definitely one of the higher up there, one of the faces of the NFL. So
former MVP.
Yeah, former MVP. So I don't think the chances are super high that he does. But exactly what you said though, John. He's been. I haven't seen Aaron Rodgers wear a mask this entire season. And which means he's violating some protocols there. So if that's the case, then yeah, I think he needs to probably get suspended, which is unfortunate because Aaron Rodgers is, coming off an MVP season. He's been looking pretty dang good this year. And let's face it, he's good for football. So, but that does not in my opinion, does not dismiss the fact that he's violating rules. And if you don't follow him, there's consequences for that. So with that being said, I'm hitting it. I think, there should be a suspension probably involved in there.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think there should be some sort of suspension to him. If they want to find the team, that's on a separate talk. But really, just as a whole, I'm just saying that he lied, like you said, to the media, saying that he was vaccinated. It's like if you're walking around with a fake vaccination card, and this and that, that's a no-no right now. That's not okay to do. So, they need to come down on him. And I understand that being a different player on, certain player on the spectrum, you're allowed to do this or that, whatever. But, and get away with it with just a slap on the wrist. But I think they need to come down because this is a serious time right now. This is something that is literally halted sports and life as a whole in its place. And so for people to think that they're God and can kind of get away with it scot-free, that's not going to be a good look at all for the league, for the person, for a lot of people. So yeah, I think he definitely should get suspended.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it as well.
You just saw that goal that Hill gave up.
Yeah.
I could tell by your face.
They've been on the power play ever since I turned the game on, and then they give a shorty. Cool.
Yep.
Everything you guys have pretty much said, you guys have covered. He's been in the media press conferences without a mask on. Vander King got suspended damn near a quarter of a season for falsifying his vaccination. He's 4 games out of reach. maybe not, but definitely something should have come down the pike and set an example. Like, look, rules are rules, and you're not above the rules. So if you want to play the game and get paid these millions of dollars, you need to follow suit like everybody else is. You're not above anybody else in the league. So,
Yeah, and I don't care if Rodgers gets vaccinated or not. It's just the fact that he's
I don't care either.
completely lied.
Yeah, exactly.
If he wants to not get vaccinated and go be Kirk Cousins and Cole Beasley and Lamar Jackson, just follow the rules stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Just follow the rules.
Follow.
That's all we're saying. It's if it's your body, your rules, that's fine. All good. We're not saying that you have to do it one way or another, but yeah, just if you're whatever way you go, you got to comply by those rules. Like, come on, like this is a serious time. So yeah.
All right, I will go next. So we're not going to go into it too much, but the Las Vegas Raiders did lose a player for their team. He was released a couple of days ago. Well, Ben also talked about earlier in the pod about another player who got released in Deshaun Jackson. I think he's a perfect fit for the Raiders. So hit or quit it. The Raiders should go sign Deshaun Jackson.
I'll go first. I'll hit it. I think they should make a run at Deshaun Jackson. It just kind of depends on what he wants. I hope he's out of the mindset that he can go somewhere and be a 1 or a 2. I think those days are behind him. But I think he could be a good 3, especially for the Raiders team, and be a good slot receiver and just be a deep threat. So yeah, I did it.
Right.
Yeah, I think I follow suit. I think the Raiders should probably, I think they have opportunity to have an upgrade, and that's in that position. So I think the Raiders they're 5-2 right now. They gotta go for it. So I think Deshaun Jackson would probably be a solid fit. I know I definitely wouldn't argue he's one of the top receivers in the league at this moment, but the dude's still got talent. And I think the Raiders should definitely go for it. So I'm gonna hit it.
Yeah, I'd hit it as well. I mean, he's ex-Cal player, so I mean, he's got my vote. But no, he's a talented player. His off the field antics has gotten him into some trouble in times, but he's still a very gifted athlete. So I think if his requests and everything aren't too unreasonable, like a certain helmet or needing to have a certain foam and all this, and I don't know, if he has Antonio Brown-itis, then I don't think it's a good idea. But if he's just there to play football and wants to play on a team that has a chance to be a competitor and be a contender, I think that it would be a great idea for them to sign him.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit as well. I think the reason why he wanted to get off the Rams is just because he wasn't seeing the field. They got Higbee, they got Kupp, they got Woods, they got Van Jefferson. They got plenty of different. They got plenty of different. Yeah, they have plenty of options. So if he goes to the Raiders, he's in a receiving core with Zay Jones, Hunter Renfrow, and Brian Edwards. So it's like, he's going to get way more playing time. He'll get way more targets looked at. Obviously, he's a home run or bust player. He's not going to run good routes anymore. He's just going to go do those fast, straight routes. And I think Carr can hit him. I mean, Carr has that big arm, and he doesn't get to show it off that often. And yeah, I think it's a perfect fit. Someone else to keep an eye on, I think it'd be a really good fit too. If the Browns do release OBJ, I think that'd be a perfect fit too, because OBJ in Cleveland, it just doesn't fit. It's Cleveland. Give him another big city like Vegas. I think he will ball out.
What do you mean? Like, Cleveland's pretty solid. I mean, have you seen the movie Draft Day?
Have you seen Drew Carey show?
Hey, Draft Day though, very good movie, very solid movie. We're all on the same page on that one.
Very, very solid.
All right, my up.
Yep.
All right, this is gonna be hilarious because I already know the direction this is gonna go, but it's just fantastic. So, anyways, boys, you guys are familiar with Cohooney Guess the Spread, right? Our little show we do on Tuesdays, Wednesdays.
Heard of
And
it.
one of the features
heard
that we
of it.
have is Cohooney's lock of the week.
Oh,
So just to give you an
gross.
update, he did hit last week. He's now 4-4 through 8 weeks. Also hilarious. You all took the Niners, and his lock of the week was the Niners this week to cover with the points. But something else I asked Sean, just because, it's 4-4, we're, pretty much the half point of the season. I just kind of said, Cahoon, what do you think you're going to finish with your lock of the week this year? And bold prediction, Cooney says he's going 12-6. So he's saying he's going to go, what is that, 8-2 the last 10 weeks of the season. So, boys, hit it or quit it. Cohooney's going at least 12-6 in his lock of the weeks for this season.
What kind of fucking clown question is this? What the fuck? Hell no. That's the lock of the week that it ain't happening. Like, nuh-uh. Knock that shit off. Like, no. Fuck that.
And I found the clip we're gonna be posting on Instagram. Love it.
I gotta agree with Ben. I'm quitting that. I mean, this guy also picked the Chiefs to go 17-0, and well, that's going well.
No, that was very close. That was an educated.
3/4 of this is inaccurate.
No, I mean,
Let's also not forget picking the Lions and Jaguars to both win outright last week, and they got outscored by 75-13 or whatever it was.
I was on that boat too, so I mean,
Run that guy.
No, it's true. I did actually.
Yeah, but that's why
I
it's
did
not
essentially
called
write
the
it
Rist
too, but-
lock of the week.
That's
Okay, so it's okay.
Hey, you know what? Props Cooney though. We've been hitting 4 out of 5 in all of our freaking parlays lately. So, he's been doing some things right.
Still losing, bro.
It's still called losing. Cooney, would you like to answer this question?
Just remember this timestamp for the end of the season on whether or not I'm being funeralized or all three of you are. Because
Okay.
y'all assholes.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Hit it.
sure.
Move on.
We're good.
First of all, I
Oh,
haven't
and by the
even
way,
answered-
I have
so
one more hit or quit it.
First
So
of all,
this should be very interesting.
you need to slow your roll there, Jabroni, because I haven't
we
even
go.
answered the question whether I'm hitting or quitting. I haven't even decided if I'm even against you or for you. So, with that being said, because you disrespected me, I'm gonna quit it because. But you know what? Look, I'm gonna say this. I think you're gonna go over 500 the rest of the way. I just see you going like a nice 10-7. I think 12-6 is a little high, a little bit of high ball. You only give yourself room to screw up twice, and you've already screwed up 4 times through 8. So, like I said, I'm picking over 500. I'm not gonna, fully go down your road. I think 10-7 is more reasonable. 12-6.
9 and 8 is the best I'll go. That's the
little,
best I
It's
can.
a
do.
little too much for me.
Ben,
It's a little,
shut up. Ben,
little too
shut up
much.
before my next hit or quit it feeds at
especially
you.
when you took a pretty risky game right here. I mean, if Calamari plays, I could definitely see the Niners losing this game. I know you took them with the points, but it's only 2.5 based on the pick'em spread. So I don't know. If they lose by a field goal, you're gonna go to 4-5, man. I don't know. It's just a little close for me.
Okay.
Cooney, take it away with your next question.
All right. Well, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm doing it because Craig just brought this one up.
Oh, jeez.
All right, fellas. So last Saturday there was a party that happened.
Oh,
And
my
who was there?
God.
Oh, that's right. I was there. Jason was there. Ben was there, and I showed up, right? And Reese showed up, and Reese is like, "You're here? Oh, you weren't gonna be here. Oh, cool. Where's Craig? Oh, he's not coming. Where's Craig? He said he was coming."
I just noticed the look on both of your faces.
So, hit or quit it. Craig's kind of a jackass for flaking out on the party last weekend.
Can we can we not answer this question?
Yeah.
We're gonna move on. So
This is a
this
terrible question.
We're gonna move it up. We're gonna move
Yeah,
it up.
let's
Yeah,
move
so
it
was the
on.
last one.
It's all been
No.
volunteered to be moved on. Okay,
Yes,
I'm glad
move on.
we've all moved on. All right, is there any other questions that we?
After that one, no, there is no more questions. We're done.
Wrap it up and let's put a bow on it.
All
I think
right,
that's a good way to end it.
fantastic, cool, great, love it.
Can we burn that part of the tape?
Oh, it's warm in here. All right, before we say our goodbye, wow, I don't even know.
I don't even know what to do anymore.
I don't even know.
You look like an apple.
Yeesh, I know I do. That's what sucks. I'm ready to shit right now. All right. Before we say good night, we like to do a little thing before we close out the show. It's where we do our shout outs. This can be people we know. We do birthdays, we do anniversaries, anything like that. Sometimes we shout out local businesses. Sometimes we shout out the alcohol we like to drink. It could be kind of all that and everything in between. It's just really just no holds barred. There's no rules when it comes to this one. So, fellas, any shout outs you got this week?
I got 3.
Wow.
Daddy, chill.
Well, go ahead.
Yep. So we talked about alcohol. I am gonna shout out Wild Barrel. The best sours craft beer in the world. It's amazing. If you ever go to a liquor store that has craft beer and you see Wild Barrel, go ahead and give it a try. I really enjoy it. I know sour beer is not everyone likes, but I really like it. Another shout out. I'm gonna shout out the MCU. Eternals comes out tonight. Me and Craig are gonna go watch it in a little bit. I cannot wait. Should be a really good movie. At least we didn't go to a 10:30 movie. I think you should be able to survive.
Oh, I'd be lights out.
Yeah. And
Bring your sleep app.
And then the last one, it's not technically it's a shout out. It's more of I just want to send out our condolences to the family that did lose their daughter a couple of days ago. I want to send out condolences to that family.
Well, yeah, well said. Absolutely. Yeah, condolences as well. My shout outs is my company, my former employer tomorrow.
Ooh.
14 and a half years. Great times working there. Great people I've worked with, but time to try different
retirement.
So shout out to them. And then I also want to shout out, I don't follow wrestling nearly as much as I used to as a kid. And, kid, when I say, 50 years ago, whatever. But admitting that you need help, John Moxley, also known as Dean Ambrose.
Mm-hmm. Audio cut out.
Sucks.
Fuck.
Gotta give it a minute, Jay.
He's like,
honestly, I don't think he'd even hear us when he.
I don't think so either, because he's on a fucking roll right now.
Jay, you're gonna have to back that up like 10 seconds because you cut out again.
Yeah.
I was just saying it's always the hardest thing to reach out for help. Sometimes pride gets in the way, but there's always people there to listen to you and just there to just listen. So if you ever need help, absolutely reach out.
Yep. Definitely agree.
Benny, you got anything?
Yes. Shit. I had 2. Okay, so the first one was shout out to the NHL for taking off Aldrich, the video guy from the Blackhawks with that whole incident that went down. So I'm glad that he got his name etched off of the Stanley Cup. That's just not okay. So good on for the league to write a formal request and them to oblige by it to get it taken off. So that's awesome. Also, was it my longtime neighbor, now my sister and Jose, their neighbor, Curtis, he's battling cancer, and unfortunately he's at the hospice stage though right now. So it unfortunately was found really late because Kaiser screwed up. Shocking. So they screwed up, misdiagnosed him at the get-go. So he was immediately behind the 8 ball. He's got some treatment for UCSF to see if that will help. So hopefully that can maybe curve this. But regardless, hopefully he just keeps battling. I've been thinking about him a lot because he was always a good neighbor, always just kind of making sure everyone was okay. So that's all I got on my shout outs today.
Yeah, it's got a couple. One I did.
I'm sorry. I have to interrupt you. This might be stealing one of yours, but I wanted to get a birthday as happy birthday to Jury on from Monday.
Oh, well, yeah. No, I did it last week.
Son of a.
Yeah. I even told him that I shouted him out too. So and, I think
I
he
bet
even
you got a call from his agent was asking for for
What can I-
a bonus.
what can I say? You know.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, just a couple of shout outs here. One, I'm glad you brought up too. I think one thing that needs to be mentioned just with the whole situation with Henry Ruggs and everything like that, is condolences out to the family of the 23-year-old woman that ended up dying in that situation. It's really unfortunate, a very avoidable situation. It's very tragic when things like that happen. I don't even think her name has been released yet. I don't know when
It
it's
was.
going to. It was okay. Well,
It was.
I mean, yeah, definitely condolences to her family. I mean, that's something that her family has to live with the rest of their lives. So it's a really shitty situation. I know that I think her dog was also in the car too.
Mhm.
Just on top of everything. Just really unfortunate. So condolences out to the family there. Just super tragic. And on another note, I do have one birthday shout out. I do want to give out my friend's Devin. Her birthday is coming up on the 7th. Interestingly enough, it was just last week. Cohooney and I were carpooling to work, and all of a sudden look over to my right, and there's this middle finger pointed out to me from the side of the car. I'm like, what the hell did I do? And it was just Devin, just I guess saying hello, I guess. So shout out to Devin. Her birthday's coming up this weekend. So but yeah, those are the two I got tonight. So
That
all
works.
right, that does it. All right, well, thank y'all so much for tuning in as always. Do want to make sure we shout these out as always. If you're not already doing so, make sure to give us a follow over at our podcast over on YouTube. It is Sports Bets, but mostly Chaos Podcast. Should be relatively easy to find. Make sure to subscribe to us there. You can see all of our content, previous episodes, as well as our little side episodes that we have as well that we have throughout the week. Other than that, if you're on social media, Twitter, Instagram, you can follow us there at SBBMC_pod POD. Make sure to follow us there. We'd love to hear from you, whether it's on the channel or on the social media. Any feedback you guys have, anything like that, whether it's good or bad, just keep it as nice as possible. We all have feelings. We all have feelings. So but we can fairly say that we haven't had any bad reviews, at least on social media or anything public wise. So
yeah,
we've gotten some crap from some of our good friends, but it's all in good nature.
Come after me. I'm 40.
Yeah, come after that guy. He's the man.
yeah.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
But again, thank you all as always for tuning in, whether it's your first time or your returning viewer. We really appreciate all the following you all have. It's just a little fun thing we've all been doing now, and we really enjoy doing it regardless of really the amount of views that we have. So it's enjoyable for all of us. So with that being said, and if there's anything you guys thought of last minute we want to get to before we sign off for the evening,
We'll see you guys next week, and when Cohooney recaps the next Cowboys game.
Absolutely.
I'm timing your ass next week.
All right. With that being said, once again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We will see everyone again.
It should be 5 minutes talking about the Coyotes.
Oh, gross.
The Desert Dogs. Take a drink. All right, y'all. Have a good night. We'll see y'all again.
Yeah.